Hi, my name is Dan Humberg, and this is an instructional video from harvestfires.com. This particular video is will show you how to assemble the tin for CaseIH model 8120, a model 11 year or higher tin kit for a Firestop system. I'm just going to do a quick assembly of the tin here to show you how it fits together so that you can do your assembly on the bench. I do recommend that you do a complete assembly of the tin on the bench before you go to the machine to install it. It allows you to run a screw in everywhere that you need to, and that way the holes are all ready for screws, and that becomes really important when you put it on the machine. And there's some places where it's really hard to reach, and you want that screw hole ready to accept that screw and not have to create a hole when you get there. We'll do this in just a minute. I'll show you as quick as I can on the bench how to assemble the tin, and then I always begin this with this little caveat or warning that this kit is intended to stop the chronic fires that occur on combines when they're doing volatile crops, particularly crops like sunflowers. Those fires, the vast majority of them start at the exhaust components, the turbocharger and the hottest pieces of the exhaust system near it. This Firestop kit will generally cut off or stop the process of ignition at that point. However, I have to tell you that it won't necessarily prevent every smolder that could ever happen on your combine, because there are multiple potential ignition sources on a combine. You can get a fire start from a hot bearing, you can have a fire start from an electrical short, a failing alternator. If you get a place where friction grabs or you get material wound in tight around a pulley or something, you can get enough friction to start a fire. There are questions about static electricity, so you can still have a smolder sometime on your combine. It just won't come any longer from the exhaust system, at least not the turbocharger area. So be vigilant about that anyway, but this kit generally is accepted to reduce the fires that occur on those machines dramatically. Okay, so be careful. All right, we're going to see how fast we can put together this set of tin. It's all folded and ready to go. I'm going to step through it, and I'll try to keep my mouth shut, and then in places where there's just screws going in, we can speed up the video for you. I'll try and talk when we aren't going to go fast. We'll start with piece number one. Sorry about that. Start with piece number one. This is the top of the manifold cover. Have a drill driver with a number 2 square driver bit. Have one that's about 6 inches long. I have one that I made up that's about a foot long. I generally don't need to use this on the bench, but you do use it on the combine occasionally. Okay, I just added piece number 9 onto piece number 1, that face. I got a screw hole that is somehow misplaced here. It wouldn't line up at all, and so I just shot a screw through there, held it in place. The other screws pretty much line up the part, and I shot a screw through in place. If you need to, go ahead and do that. Also notice this cutout is on the bottom side or the down side away from this. That needs to be that way. Okay, piece number 10 added on to the right hand side. that's the bottom of the piece under the manifold. Notice that I slipped the long piece up inside of this one. This tab should also bend over. Better than that. That was bad. A little better. Okay, we just put the two top halves of the exhaust turbine shield in place. Notice that this all goes together to leave a little cutout, a hole here. Part of the compressor turbine housing will kind of cut through that area. Not so much on this machine. Well, yeah, it might on this machine too, the 2011. But there's a couple of these models where I reuse the parts and that turbine sticks in there. So that's what that cutout's for. Notice that I just put that screw in from this side and these two screws from this side. You may not be able to get both of these in there because the compressor may be in the way of at least one of them. The inner one may go into a recess in the compressor. Anyway, I put them both in for now. And this one, we may be able to reach behind the exhaust turbine with the long driver when you're on the machine and get that one in. You can't get it from the left because the compressor is in the way. Okay, I put these screws in here to hold this together. That one hole I'm going to leave out for right now because the housing around here may utilize that hole again. This one I think clears. You can use these two to hold this together. Alright, we got the housing around the exhaust turbine. I got more screws that could go in there, and they should all have a screw put in them before you take it apart on the bench so that they're all threaded. That leaves us with a couple of bracket pieces here. This one, with that we folded up, goes right here. I'll put 2 in for now, but all those 4 should go in. This slot goes over a threaded boss on the engine block, and we can put a bolt in there to hold the whole works on that side. There's a similar piece on the other side, the radiator end. 4 screw holes there. Again, there's a place in the block to bolt on at that point. I'm going to put 3 pieces together first as a unit and see if that wouldn't go over the exhaust pipe. It'd save us some time. This is the top, piece number 14. Piece number 13 fits along here. Notice the size of the holes. The pilot holes here are large. That flange is on the outside. The other ones are on the inside. So we cross over here like this. I don't know if I like that or not, but apparently that's what I did. The other side, piece 16, will fit over here. Looks to me like all of these go on the outside. Okay, if I was assembling this on the combine, I'd probably try and do this much first and see if I couldn't drop this down over the exhaust pipe, butt it up against the turbine box over here, and then put the bottom on later. Because I'm on the bench, we can get away with boxing the whole thing in. Alright, that's our box to go around the exhaust pipe. Notice I've left some holes unfilled on this end because we may use those with the piece that we add on to extend this out to the muffler. That piece is right here. This will slip over this. Down to there. It leaves a little gap here under the bottom, and that's where there's a support piece for the exhaust pipe that comes up there. Last piece, number 18, slips inside. Okay, this is the place where the exhaust pipe comes out of the turbine, the exhaust turbine. Be the sits this way in the engine, so the pipe is headed out that way. I'm going to turn it up like this and set this on top of here. Alright, I'm having a little bit of trouble with these holes here and the ones on the back side. They don't want to match up really well with the pilot holes in the inner piece. That's probably because of this bend is kind of a loose bend. My laser didn't cut a good perforated line there, so it kind of bent a big curve instead of a sharp bend, and so the holes don't quite line up. If you end up in that situation, you can just shoot screws through here to hold it on, but it should probably be squished back in that way just a little bit. We could also loosen up these and shove the whole thing back that way a little bit, but in any case, it'll fit on around there, and you can shoot these on if they won't line up. Hopefully they will line up for you if we've had good bends in the assembly of this. This angled corner on here tells me that that should probably be about flush with this face. That's the way it was designed, and so we're scrunched back or out just a little bit ways from where we should be. Otherwise, I got 5 screws, and I got 3 more that I could hit for sure, and there's some in the back we could shoot through here as well. So that's the assembly of the tin for a 8120 case. This would be the model 11 year where they shifted the turbine in but left the exhaust pipe over here, so they put a kink in it. Anyway, you want to do this on the bench the way I've done it here. Then make sure you put a screw in every hole so that the holes are all pre-threaded when you get on the machine, and then you can take it all apart, or you can leave it together and go to the machine and just take it apart piece by piece. Like I said here, I think this chunk of the exhaust pipe can probably, these 3 pieces could probably be assembled and slipped down over that and save some tight work on the machine when you are putting that together. One thing I recommend doing is after you've got it assembled and you like the way it fits on the bench, take some Sharpie markers, possibly different colors, and mark where flanges cross like this, so that you get places that you can match up and perhaps different colors so that you don't get confused as to which piece goes where, and you can kind of line up the marks. Make any marks or notes you want on it now, because then it's easier to put together when you get on the combine. Good luck with your installation. If you have questions, there's a way to send me an email at the website. It's harvestfires.com is the website. The address, I think, is, it might be harvestfires@outlook.com.